afternoon and welcome to Hill Stadium in Saco and the semifinals in Western A. This afternoon, it's the Golden Trojans at the number 5 seed hosting number 8 South Portland. Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Harper along with Marc Paquette, and we get set for a dandy. Both these teams coming off big wins in the first round of the playoffs. South Portland none bigger than that as they knock off the number 1 seed Lewiston by a score of 20-0. Thornton Academy comes back, takes care of Portland 27-12. The offense is there last week. They score the points today. You'd expect to see some points being put up by both clubs.
Yeah, you certainly would. And last week, going into both games, a few question marks for both these teams going out there, and they both get it done both offensively and defensively. Of course, South Portland shuts down that great Lewiston team up there. Thornton Academy really gets the job done against Portland. And this afternoon, really, Jay, see, I've got that on the mind from last week. For Thornton to be effective, nothing different. They have to win the war up front. The big boys up front with the experience, win the battle, line of scrimmage, and be able to run the football against this tough Riot defense.
Gorgeous day here at Hill Stadium, 72 degrees, overcast, but you couldn't ask for much better weather in the first week of November. Both teams have the weapons. Of course, South Portland, they're led by their senior quarterback, Brian Harvey. He's a kid that will lead, and you know he wants to take his team to the promised land, a place he took them 2 years ago as only a sophomore. Thornton Academy's defense must contain Brian Harvey.
Big part of Thornton Academy this year has been their defense. And the big word this afternoon really is contain. Got to keep Harvey in the pocket. Cannot afford to give him the outside of the field because he's really dangerous, throwing on the run and tucking the ball under his arm and getting the big yardage.
South Portland also offensively now have 2 guys they can throw to. Ben French, a junior, stepping up and playing very good football the last half of the year, and James Story, another kid who can make big things happen for you offensively. Then their backfield, 2 kids rushed for over 140 yards both last week against Lewiston. You got Tim Lawson, a sophomore, a big tailback, and you got Patrick Toms, the senior, the fullback, tough, hard-nosed, two-way player. Kind of mirrors Thornton Academy's backfield with the sophomore Ryan True at tailback, and of course Jason Boudreau, another great two-way star.
Definitely some comparisons there, and Thornton Academy just needs to continue to play that great swarming defense on the running back. I think the key this afternoon, obviously to be successful, you have to be able to run the football, but South Portland's going to have to try to loosen up that tough Thornton defense against the run by passing successfully, and if Thornton Academy can keep them out of the air with success, I think they're going to have their way this afternoon.
Christian Dorian back for Thornton Academy, and Coach Agresti likes that. They'll have him in the secondary and also another weapon to throw to. Offensively for Thornton Academy, they got a lot of weapons, and Andy Burgess played a tremendous game last week. He needs to do the same again this week.
That's their leader, really. The whole offense is centered around Andy Burgess and his ability to run the offense. And what I like is his demeanor on the field the last couple of weeks. He's really been a team leader. They need that out of Burgess this afternoon. Remember, the first time these two teams played, Thornton Academy scored 5 touchdowns, and really a lot of times in the red zone didn't get the job done, 5 or 6 turnovers. So you have to feel confident in that offense being able to come out and put some points up on the board.
We expect to see a much cleaner game than the first time these two teams met, a 31-16 victory for Thornton Academy. 11 turnovers total in that game. This in the semifinals of the playoffs, you expect a much cleaner, better game. And South Portland, Thornton Academy, they've done it before in the playoffs. This should be a tremendous game.
Yeah, like we said last week on top, there are no tomorrows in the playoffs. They have to come out and get the job done. We saw a hungry Trojan team last week. I expect more of the same this afternoon.
And I think the 2 leaders today, besides Burgess, will be Chad Hediaris and Jason Boudreau. Look for these guys to have big games. As the 2 teams warm up and get ready, we're going to get set. We'll take a break. Be back with the opening kickoff and starting lineups right after this. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jeff Harper and Marc Paquette with you as we get set for Thornton Academy and South Portland. The number 5-seeded Thornton Academy Golden Trojans at 6-3. The number 8-seeded South Portland Red Riots come in with a 5-4 mark. These 2 teams met earlier in the season. Thornton Academy prevailing in that one 31-16 in a very close turnover-filled game, which saw both teams commit numerous turnovers, 11 total in that contest. And this game, we expect, Mark, to see a much cleaner contest between these 2 fine clubs.
You certainly expect to see a cleaner contest, and let's not forget, Jay, that first time around, the game was actually much closer than the score indicated. Towards the end of the game, about 4.5 minutes to go, South Portland fumbled the punt at about the 5-yard line, and Thornton Academy was able to push that last score in to make the score seem a little bit further than it actually was. You certainly would expect this afternoon to see both teams do a better job at taking care of the football. There was a total of 11 turnovers in that first game. not counting numerous penalties which cost both offenses. And now both teams really finely tuned in these playoffs. A lot of parity in this league is proven by the 5 versus 8 matchup. And hopefully we are in for a cleaner afternoon of football.
South Portland will receive the opening kickoff. They won the coin toss. Starting lineups being introduced down below. Running down South Portland's starting lineup for you. Their center, number 57, a fine two-way performer, Ben Blackwood, a 5'9", 220 junior. At right guard, Jamie Milliken, number 68, 5'6", 153, a junior. Not big in stature, but he's been doing a great job filling for the injured John Buck. The right tackle, Vince Shaw, number 70, 6 foot, 230-pound senior. On the left side, it's number 52, Drew Hughes, a 6 foot, 185-pound junior. Next to him at left tackle, Jason Perry, wearing number 61, 6 foot, 230-pound, and a senior. At tight end, number 85, Dan Roediger. Roediger, 6'2", 175, and a junior. Coach Wolfgram likes to use the double tight ends. They'll come with number 83, Adam Crosby. He's 6 feet, 185, and a senior. The receiving core for quarterback Harvey, number 36, James Story. Story, 5'9", 155, a senior. And then they come with Ben French, number 80, 6 foot, 155, a junior. Jason Flagg will run out of the Z-back position, number 45, 5'9", 140, and a senior. And in the backfield, Patrick Toms, the senior, 5'9", 170, and the tailback, number 33, Tim Lawson. Lawson, 5'9", 202 pounds, and the quarterback, of course, Brian Harvey, 5'9", 145, and a senior. We'll pause now for the national anthem. Semifinal matchup in Western A, pitting number 5 Thornton Academy versus number 8 South Portland. The other big matchup this afternoon in Western A, number 2 Massabesic hosting number 3 Biddeford. Both those clubs with 7-2 marks, and a lot of speculation and anticipation in that contest as well as in this one. And you couldn't ask for a better day weather-wise in the first week of November. Temperatures in the 70s. Just before kickoff time, we had a 72-degree report from Ocean 98.
You sure it's November?
It's hard to believe. It's been going on now for 3 or 4 autumn seasons. The glorious weather. I remember playing in November last week of the season versus Biddeford, and it was about 25 degrees. You had long johns on and everything else underneath your uniform trying to stay warm. South Portland back deep. David Lessa in the middle. On his left, Tim Lawson. On the right, Ben French. Ryan True, the sophomore, will kick it off to get things underway. A nice end-over-end kick fielded at the 12 by Lessa. Right up the middle, breaks the seam and gets it all the way out to the 35-yard line.
Matt Libby on the tackle for Thornton Academy. It looked like there was going to be a seam there right down the middle of the field. Nice job by Libby closing the gap. South Portland now, Jay is going to start right at the 35.
The Red Riots come out to the line of scrimmage. Harvey sends double wideouts to the far side. Crosby and Story. First down, he hands off to Patrick Toms, and Toms is pummeled in the middle. They'll get only a yard.
That's been tough going this year, trying to run against that Trojan defense right in the middle. We'd expect the Riots to try and have some success to the outside. Perhaps just trying to set things up right now.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 9. To welcome all our listeners on All Sports 1440. We simulcast this afternoon with CTV 30 here in Saco and Old Orchard. So you get a bit of radio call for the television as Harvey brings them out, and we have motion. Flag comes in, and let's check the call. Could be against Thornton Academy. It is.
Prior to the snap, lining up in that neutral zone. And that makes a nice little pickup for the Riots on first down. It's going to give them a 2nd and 4 situation. And that's something South Portland has to do this afternoon, pick up some big yardage on first down.
Harvey brings them out. I formation with Toms and Lawson. Story and French to the far side of the field. They go to Lawson. The big tailback fights his way through the middle, and he'll be very close to a first down. Brought down by Verrill, Lamar, and Hetty Harris.
And a good push on the right side by Buck and Shaw. It appears Lawson's going to be about a yard shy.
3rd and 1 now for the Red Riots. Opening moments, first quarter.
And with Harvey, this is not a given running situation.
Strong left formation. Now they shift Kevin Ryan over to the right side. Full house backfield, and they go to Lawson. The big tailback has the first down. He rambles for 3 yards.
Once again, going over the right side over Buck and Shaw, picking up about 4 yards. Plenty for the first down.
And a quick report from Waterboro. Biddeford has taken the opening kickoff the distance, and they lead 7-0.
One thing you can't do against the Tigers, and that is start on the downside, as the Mustangs have apparently done this afternoon.
First down and 10. Red Riots come out. French and Story to the near side. Split backfield. Lawson and Toms. Harvey keeps it. Tries to get outside. He's hauled down. Alex Harder, big number 68, throws Harvey for a 4-yard loss.
The Riots come to the near side of the field, faking to the fullback Toms, trying the option. Harder would have no part of it, pushing his blocker aside and getting the big mitts out there to bring Harvey down at the 45-yard line.
Of course, the keys, talking with Thornton Academy's coaching staff and their people this week, containing Brian Harvey. Defensive end, Alex Harder, does his job and then some on that play, and that'll bring up a 2nd, and we'll call it 13. French and Story again to the near side. Crosby to the far. Harvey rolling out, got time, fires out, got his man wide open. French with the reception, he gets a first down all the way down to the Thornton Academy 38-yard line.
They roll to the near side of the field. French hooking about 12 yards down the field to the 40. Right on the money by Harvey. No one around for the Trojans, and another South Portland first down.
So the Red Riots on the move, opening possession. Harvey with a first down and 10 sends Story in motion to the far side. Delayed handoff, Lawson. Lawson finds the room in the middle. He busts up through into the secondary. He'll have 9 and very close to another Red Riot first down. South Portland coming out and doing just what they have to, mixing it up.
Mixing it up well, and that time they give it a look like Harvey's going to roll to the outside. Delays it to Lawson over the middle, and he picks up 9 big yards.
As you can see, Jay, we got a measurement going here, and it looks like the Red Riots have picked up the first down, mixing it up rather nicely with that draw. And as you can see, Harvey's got a beautiful arm. They got to get to him before he gets that pass off.
All right, a live report down on the sideline from Jeff Harper, assistant coach for Edward Little, and of course the Red Eddies not making the playoffs this season. We'll have sideline reports from him throughout the contest, and exactly what we just said. South Portland mixing it up very, very nicely, and on that draw play right there to Lawson, he had room in the middle, and then he powered his way through the secondary. First down and 10, Red Riots, ball down to the Thornton 28. Harvey outside, all kinds of room. He'll have 7, and he's hauled down out there by Dave Nassy, the outside linebacker, and getting help from Chad Hetty Harris.
And the success of that play after the fake to Toms, Vince Shaw, the right tackle for the Riots, pushes defensive end of Thornton Academy to the inside. Nice job on the outside linebacker also. And Harvey turns that into a 5+ yard gain. Positive yardage on first down for the Riots.
South Portland with now a 2nd and 4. Officially 6 yards for Harvey. Handoff, Patrick Toms in the middle, and he knifes forward for about 3. And South Portland having their way with this very strong Thornton Academy defense.
And now the Riots have the ball in the infamous red zone inside that 20. Can they convert it to points?
2 plays to get a yard and a half. It's 3rd and a little more than a yard for the Red Riot offense. They come out with Kevin Ryan in the strong left formation. They usually shift him over to right side, and they do exactly that. Long count for Harvey, goes to Lawson. He'll have the first down. South Portland's offensive line of Hughes, Blackwood, Milliken, and Shaw and Perry really punching up holes inside that interior defensive line of the Trojans.
And what we've seen on this drive, Jay, is the ability of South Portland on first down to pick up 5 and 6 yards, leaving them 2nd and 3rd down with short yardage. That allows them to really mix things up, keep the Trojan defense off guard as to what's coming. On the other side of the ball, what the Trojans need is to come up with a big stick here in first down situations.
Timeout on the field. We'll take a break. You're watching Thornton Academy football and listening to South Portland Red Riot football on All Sports 1440. We're back after this. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. South Portland with it, 1st down and 10. The ball at the Thornton Academy 15-yard line. Handoff, Patrick Toms in the middle, and he's hammered after a short 1-yard pickup.
The handoff to Toms to the inside, faking a counter to the right side with Lawson. And the big front 4 of Thornton Academy, they've been immense all year. Harder, Verrill, Lamar, and Knox really have done a tremendous job in anchoring this Thornton Academy defense.
That time it was Jake DeRocher, middle linebacker, 45, who put the big stick on Toms. A 2nd and 9 now for the Red Riots. Threatening on their opening possession. 6:23 to go, first quarter. Harvey rolling left, sets up, looks deep. Got Story out there, wide open, touchdown.
Story came out of the backfield, ran a route to the outside, and a nice pump fake by Harvey. The corner comes up on the bite, Story turns it up, and Harvey's able to just lay it out there nice and soft. He catches the ball on that left flat of the end zone with no one around, and South Portland takes the opening kickoff, 6 points.
65-yard, 9-play drive, and a 14-yard pass from Brian Harvey to James Story. Ben Blackwood in for the extra point try. O'Neal, the holder, gets it down. The kick is up, and it's good. And the Red Riots have a 7-0 lead from their opening possession, and that out-and-up pattern. And Harvey had pressure coming in, but he lofted the ball out there perfectly for James Story. And Story's had problems holding on to those easy ones this year. This time, he cradles the ball, pulls it in, and the Red Riots have taken the 7-0 lead with 6:14 to go. First quarter, you're watching Thornton Academy football on CTV 30.
South Portland actually set that one up many plays before when they ran a successful pattern to French for about a 14-yard pickup.
And now Blackwood will kick off, back deep to receive. Ryan True, the sophomore, he's in the middle. Christian Doyen on his left, and the other sophomore, the very dangerous Chris Mercier on the right side. Short, deep man, 44, Jason Boudreau. Blackwood's kick, a low liner, fielded by Boudreau. Straight up, comes up the middle, and he's hammered, but he gets it out to the 36-yard line. Let's go down for a sideline report from Jeff Harper.
push the ground game.
All right. That one not working, a little technical problems on that, but we'll get more as the game goes. Thornton Academy with it, 1st and 10. Their first play, a pitch to Ryan True. True, make great moves, breaks into the secondary. He's all the way down to the South Portland 43-yard line. A brilliant run by Ryan True.
What a job up front by Verrill and the other lineman of Thornton Academy, blowing that hole open. Didn't get the number. One of the Riot linebackers had a chance to make a stick on True about the 37. Good stiff arm. And he gets the ball over South Portland's 45 all the way to the 43-yard line.
A 21-yard pickup for Ryan True. Thornton Academy with it, 1st and 10. Hand off to Boudreau. Boudreau into the secondary, loses the football. It's loose on the field, and it looks like Thornton Academy came up with it, but they'll lose 6 yards on the play.
The ball was knocked between the handoff of Burgess and Boudreau, and dangerously laying on the field for what seemed like forever, all the way back to the 49-yard line. No one seeing the ball, and then Ryan True with a good heads-up play pounces on it, but 7-yard loss for the Trojans.
2nd and 17 now. As Thornton, 2 big mistakes already in this contest. Burgess gets the ball tipped. It's straight up in the air, and it falls incomplete.
He had Stetson breaking over right down the middle open, but Pat Batchelor gets in, hits Burgess's arm just as he's ready to release the ball, and that ball was right up at the line of scrimmage. Had one of the Riots had their heads up in the air, they may have been able to pick that one off.
Very easily. So that brings up now a 3rd down and 17 for the Thornton Academy offense. The other mistake earlier, of course, after they stuffed South Portland on the first play of the game, they had the offside penalty, and that propelled South Portland on their way to the opening score. Burgess fakes, fires over the middle. Ryan True with a great catch. He's into the secondary, down to the 15, inside the 10-yard line.
They go play action to the left side, making it look like an option. That ball was thrown into great coverage. I don't know how True was able to come up with the ball, converting it into a big 1st down for Thornton Academy right at the 10-yard line.
What a catch by Ryan True. And then Story came out with the ball as they went to the ground. Story came up with a football, and he's arguing he took it away before Ryan True came to the turf. The officials don't agree. Very close call there because it did look like Story pulled that out. 1st and 10 for the Trojans, just inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Handoff, Chad Hedieris, and Hedieris will get a couple inside the middle. So Ryan True, the sophomore, the kid we said who's been playing pretty well so far, he's come up big. That a 40-yard reception, and he also has a 21-yard run already in this game. The ball spotted just in front of the 7-yard line, so it's 2nd and goal from the 7. Burgess sends Doyen to the near side, Stetson to the far. Option play, Burgess keeps it, goes outside, breaks the tackle, and gets pushed out of bounds right at the last second by David Lessa. And it'll be 3rd and goal, and they look like they'll spot him out right around the 3, maybe the 2-yard line.
Fake on the inside to Boudreau. It looked as though Burgess were going to have the corner, but Lessa comes up very quickly to push him out of bounds right at the 3.
Well, we said on top of our television coverage that we expected some points today. So far, it appears we're headed that way. Hedieris in the middle. He won't get there. It'll be 4th and goal.
Right about the 1 foot yard. Yeah, I'd say he's about a foot off from here. It's hard to see where it's being spotted, but just shy. Perhaps a half yard at the most.
So, the big play early in this one. The Red Riot defense digging in and a chance to hold.
Who's going to seize the momentum early on here is the question. So far, it's been the Riots.
Thornton comes out and goes to the I formation and splits out Stetson to the near, Doyen to the far. Burgess keeps it, he's in.
He fakes to Boudreau on the left side. Actually could have handed him the ball. Boudreau just going to the end zone, and Burgess following Boudreau right into the same gap, going in, standing up. And Thornton Academy now comes right down the field and puts it up.
Well, Jay, the Trojans really kept their poise on that drive. A couple of execution errors early, the fumble and the tipped pass. Burgess looking good.
All right, now the extra point try. Alex Brazilovich in, no good. The ball sails off to the right, and Thornton Academy goes 64 yards for their touchdown. But they come up empty on the extra point try. The sophomore Alex Brazilovich been very successful this season. This time, though, he misses in what could be a very crucial PAT, although a lot of football and the way things are going, we expect to see a lot more points on the board in this one. With 3:19 to go, first quarter, our score, South Portland Red Riots 7, Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 6. Ryan True again set to kick off. Back deep in the middle, David Lessa. Lawson on his left, French on the right. True with a good, booming end-over-end kick. Puts Lessa back to the 11. Comes right up the gut, makes a nifty little move, stays on his feet, and gets it all the way out to the 40-yard line. An excellent return of 30 yards for David Lessa and the Red Riots.
Lessa doing a nice job breaking a tackle at the 28, and then he gets it out to the 40 on both returns for the Riots. Running to that left side, nice crease there, and once again, some excellent field position.
Report coming in from Waterboro, 14-0, Biddeford.
Ouch.
And I think it was myself who said I still had to favor Biddeford in that one, although most people liked Massabesic.
I was one of those.
1st and 10 for the Red Riots. Harvey, the draw play to Lawson. Lawson breaks it outside into the secondary. He'll have 12, 13 yards and a Red Riot first down. And Tim Lawson, who was brilliant in the second half versus Lewiston last week, continues his outstanding running. And the Red Riots looking sensational offensively so far.
The Riots go to that draw once again to Lawson. Saw success on the first drive and once again picking up first down yardage.
The ball spotted all the way down to the 46 of Thornton Academy. 1st and 10. And the draw inside to Toms, and he's smothered right at the line of scrimmage. A big play by Alex Harder, getting help from middle linebacker Chad Hediaris.
Trojans shuffling now, bringing John Verrill in for Greg Lamar inside that front four. Now with a second and long, you expect to see Mr. Harvey put the ball up.
Lamar suffering from a slight groin pull, and he may be getting a rest for that, although he's conversing with Coach Agresti. I think they wanted to talk over what happened on that last play when Lawson had the big gain. 2nd and 9. Harvey straight drop, steps up in the pocket, now breaks outside. But there is defensive end Aaron Knox to make the play.
And that's what the Trojans need this afternoon. Keep him contained in the pocket, close it down, and as he tries to escape up the middle, put the grasp on him. Nice job by Knox on the far side of the field at his defensive end position, doing just that. And now the Riots facing a 3rd and about 7.
And clock ticks down to 1:20 to play first quarter, and the ball just inside Thornton territory. This is a down they need to pick it all up, because you would think Wolfgram would look to punt if they don't gain the first down. Harvey to throw, fires out, got his man wide open. French with a great cutback move. He's down to the 20, breaking outside, and he'll get it all the way down to the 19-yard line of the Trojans.
Same pattern he ran on that first drive, just a straight push down the field, curling it to the inside. Once again, Harvey right on the money. No Trojans around there. Then after catching the ball, French puts a couple of nifty moves on there to tack on some additional yardage, get the ball inside Thornton Academy's 20-yard line.
And Harvey-French connection working big. 1st and 10, Red Riots again on the move. I formation and motion against Lawson. The play continues, and Harvey rolling out, still with the football, and he'll be dropped for about a 6-yard loss, and it appears they're going to let the play count, and Thornton can decline the penalty and take the 5 yards and make it 2nd down.
And that's where it's real important. You always coach players. You never stop until you hear the whistle. Whistle never sounding. A lot of Red Riots standing around on that one, and Thornton Academy is able to drop them back for a 5-yard loss. And now, naturally, they are going to decline that penalty. Serves the same purpose on a 5-yard loss and a loss of down.
Quarterback Harvey, very smart. He stayed with the play. The rest of his team not knowing really what to do, but he almost made something brilliant happen, but a good coverage and pursuit by the Thornton defense. And South Portland has a gaff inside the 20-yard line, and they're back to the 25. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Red Riots. They split the two tight ends, Roediger and Crosby, to each side of the field. Story goes to the right side with Crosby. Harvey to pass, slips, steps up, fires, going down for Story. Story's there, he's got it, inside the 4-yard line.
Story just runs a curl to the right side of the field, runs it right up the sideline, and Harvey started to run out of the pocket like he was going to run with the football, spotted Story open on that right flat. Nice soft delivery right over the corner.
And there's the brilliant catch of James Story. He's good for a couple of those per game. And I'll tell you, Harvey was just about to cross the line of scrimmage. That was almost an illegal pass. Great job by these Red Riots. They have it 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Strong left formation. Now Ryan shifts to the right. Handoff goes to Lawson. Lawson met, stood up. He tries to fight, but he gets hammered back. The Trojan defense will have nothing to do with that play. And again, it's Alex Harder leading the way.
That goal line defense for Thornton Academy has been extremely tough in these situations. And I think the Riots would be well advised to try and do something to the outside.
All right, that's going to wrap up the first quarter of play. And our score, Thornton Academy trailing South Portland 7, Thornton 6. We'll take a break. You're watching CTV 30.
Got to be impressed with the throwing of Harvey, Jay. This kid really lays the ball right in there as he came down the sideline here. Everybody gave the ball call for the Trojans on the side, but beautiful pass. And now the Red Riots are knocking at the door. They have the offensive game plan all set.
All right, another sideline report from Jeff Harper. You're listening to All Sports 1440 and watching CTV 30 simulcast this afternoon as we approach second quarter of play with the Red Riots leading 7-6 and a chance to expand on that lead. They have it 2nd and goal at the 4. Coaching staff's out talking to their huddles. Coach Wolfram out conversing with the offense, and this is a well-oiled offense. They played very strong in that second half against Lewiston, and they've taken that momentum right into this contest, and that tough Thornton defense, who many people thought was becoming the best in the West, has looked suspect in a lot of areas.
And really what's getting things going for the Riots is what you alluded to right on top, the mix. Thornton Academy not able to key up on any one part of that offense the Riots are running. They've been successful both in the air and the pass, and the fact that Harvey's throwing the ball successfully is getting that running game really loosened up.
2nd and goal. South Portland comes out, double tight end, strong left formation. They go to Lawson, no, the fake. Harvey looking to throw, fires up, tipped, bobbled, and almost deflected and caught in the back of the end zone by Roediger.
Unbelievable play there. You had Toms and Roediger basically in the same area, the ball thrown a little bit behind Toms. When he reached behind, he tipped the ball in the air, and as Roediger was going down, almost able to come up with that. But now the Riots are going to be faced with a 3rd down, same spot, 4-yard line.
Thornton's defense has done it before. Can they do it again? Come up with a goal line stand. Score in from the South Portland Field Hockey Championship game. They finally win the state championship. 1-0 for the South Portland Red Riot Field Hockey team. Congratulations. 3rd and goal. Harvey split backfield, fakes, rolls right. Got some room, got some time, fires over the middle, caught! Patrick Toms, touchdown, Red Riots.
Toms, who is set up in the slot, just sneaks out into the Trojan secondary, finds a nice soft spot there right in the middle of the end zone. And when Harvey with the play action fake put some pressure on the corner, the Trojans came up, throws the ball on the run. Perfect strike to Toms. 6 points, Riots.
And a little bit back against the grain. A great toss by quarterback Harvey. He's dangerous. He's doing it this afternoon. Blackwood in for the extra point try. Good snap, point down, kick up, and right through the middle. And the Red Riots doing no wrong offensively. Lead 14-6 with 11:50 to go, second quarter.
Well, 3 possessions, 3 scores. You want offensive football, stick around.
All right, South Portland leading 14-6. We'll take a break. Welcome back to Hill Stadium. Ben Blackwood set to kick off. He drills a low-lining kick fielded by Mercier at the 17. Comes to the right, cuts up the middle, breaks a tackle momentarily, and then trips up at the 39-yard line.
Interesting, the first 2 times both teams had the ball right at the 35. Last time South Portland getting it at the 40. Thornton Academy now at the 39.
A player down for the Red Riots, and they're attending to him. And this, by far, the best South Portland's looked offensively all season long. We saw them torch Biddeford for 33 points, but still, first 2 possessions, and both of those. First one, a 65-yard drive. The second one, a 59-yard drive, and a great mix of run and pass. And Ben French, kid I mentioned at the top, very dangerous. He's had 2 key catches, and then Story with 2 brilliant catches. Well, the first one very easy, but it's a touchdown. You'll call that good. And then the other one down the far side of the field. That was up in the air over the defender and staying in bounds, getting the foot in. It's Patrick Toms. That could be a big blow to this Red Riot team. He limps off very obvious. He's got a bad wheel.
Yeah, that's not a good sign the way he's walking off the field, and let's hope we see him later on in this ball game.
Toms, the linebacker and the fullback, is now out of the lineup. We'll check his progress and hopefully get a report from the sideline on that one. First down, pitch to True. True breaks inside, but great pursuit by Jason Flagg. Threw a cog in that play right off the bat, and the Trojans thrown for a 2-yard loss on first down.
Great interior pursuit from the Riot defense. Thornton did a good job initially kicking out defensive end, but 3 Riots right there to close the gap on True.
2nd and 12 now. Burgess sends Dave Massey to the far side. Christian Doyen comes to the near. They're in the eye with Boudreau and True. Burgess to throw. Lots of time, fires out in the flat for Wolfart. Wolfart makes the catch, but immediately thrown down by David Lessa, and that'll be a short 4-yard pickup on 2nd down.
Burgess having all kinds of time. Good job up front by the Trojans. Electing to go with the short pass, get some of that yardage back.
And now a big 3rd down play for this Thornton offense.
Last week, a similar situation here. Thornton Academy had success going down the field to their big split end, Sean Stetson.
Stetson comes to the near side along with Christian Doyen. Trojans in the eye. Burgess fires out, got Doyen open, makes the catch. Knocked out of bounds hard by Lessa, but all the way down to the Red Riot 45-yard line. A gain of 14 yards and a first down.
Well-designed routes by both Stetson and Doyen. Stetson lining up closest to the near side of the field here, running it over the middle, and that takes some of the defensive flow that way. And Doyen sneaking into the near side flat and lining himself up over the first down marker.
1st and 10, Trojans. Burgess hands to Boudreau. Boudreau stuffed up in the middle, fights, and he'll get a yard, but a good job in the middle by 52, Drew Hughes. And also getting help in there from Richard Rio, 35, who we assume is in to replace Patrick Toms.
Yeah, not really coming up with the play, but really congesting things there in the middle. Boudreau, no place to go.
2nd and 9. Stetson goes to the far side. Doyen will set up to the near. Burgess to throw. Has time. Lets it fly. Stetson's out there. The ball thrown to the wrong side because Sean Stetson was wide open.
And I don't know if you noticed the far side of the field. Had Burgess continued to run the ball, no one out there for the Riots. They were all running downfield with Stetson. He had that whole sideline. Easy from up here to see the whole thing unveil itself. Much tougher when you're down on the field, feeling the pressure of the opposing defense.
Big third down play again for Thornton Academy. They've been converting, but they've been putting themselves in the hole. Burgess calling the signal. Straight drop. Pressure coming in. The screen set up. Complete. Boudreau inside. Dives. He just have the first down. Great tackle by David Lessa, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Boudreau rambles for another 10 to 15.
And it's a good job up front by Thornton Academy and a nice sell by quarterback Andy Burgess on the draw. On the screen. Oftentimes you see quarterback tip their hat too early. He waited until all the Riots had gone by the initial line of scrimmage and then backs up and just dumps it over their head. Big third down conversion once again for the Trojans.
First down and 10. Burgess brings him out. Doyen to the far. Burgess on the option. He'll keep it. Cut it up inside. Rumbling, bumbling, fighting, pulling. And he'll get 10 yards and looks like a Thornton Academy first down.
Once again, good read by Burgess.
Red Riots, Jay. Packy Toms is out with a knee injury right now. I heard him telling his coach he wants to get back in there. He went down on that kickoff, and he was in a lot of pain holding that knee. They're working on it on the sideline. Right now, it looks like Burgess has got running room even when he drops back to pass. And this one ain't over yet. Quite an offensive showing here.
All right, fine sideline report. Patrick Toms with a knee injury, and he wants to get back in. First and 10 for the Trojans. The ball down to the 23. Counter with True to the outside. Breaks the tackle, keeps going, and he fights down to the 15-yard line. A gain of 8 on first down.
Boy, could have driven a truck through the left side of that line that time. Harder, Fisk, great job and a tremendous second effort by Ryan True. Thought he was going to go down about the 20. Kept the hand down there to keep the balance.
Strong run from the sophomore that time.
We like offense.
Oh, we're seeing it today. Oh, baby. Put up some points. Second and 3. Boudreau right up the middle, and you could drive a truck through that one, maybe a tank.
Tell you what, Fisk and Chad Perrault flattening the interior of the Riots that time, along with the help from Big Greg Lamar. And I believe they're going to pick up another first down for the Trojans.
And their second consecutive drive, they've gotten the ball right to the 10-yard line, and this one looks like it'll just be outside the 10, and they may actually pick up a first down about an inch from the goal line. If they come up just short, and how the officials love to spot it there, it might happen. First and 10, ball at the 10. Pitch to True, breaks a tackle, and he gets it back down to the 11. He almost lost 5 yards. Firing in there, Kevin Ryan, 46, hammered True. True, a great job at taking the hit, spinning off it, and getting it back forward. A good job to lose a yard and a half on the play.
And Ryan had come close a few times on similar type plays, almost getting in on the Trojan ball carrier. And that time, big stick straightens True right up.
Let's see if they roll Burgess out and look for the pass run. Stetson and Doyen both go to the far side of the field. Burgess to throw, rolling, stepping up, firing over the middle. Ball tipped, and Story almost had the pick. Both True and Stetson for Thornton in the same zone, and you wonder if that was a mix-up.
It had to be a mix-up, especially when you're down in the inside the 10-yard line. You're running guys out into the end zone. Definitely want to try and spread the defense and find a seam. Two guys there at the same time. Thornton Academy very lucky that time. South Portland very easily could have come up with a big pick.
Well, this has plagued Thornton Academy all year. Inside the red zone and getting points out of this very nice drive. Burgess drops the snap, picks it back up, fighting, and he'll get positive yards down inside. The pile going forward, and they're still not down. And they might spot him all the way down to the 5-yard line.
My goodness. He was hit about the 8, about 4 Riots on him, and just kept pushing the pile back. Gets it just shy of the 5-yard line.
It'll be 4th and 5. Remember, the Trojans, if they came up about 2 inches short of the goal line, it could actually be a first down. Timeout taken by the Golden Trojans. 7:08 to play. Second quarter. South Portland 14, Thornton Academy 6. You're watching CTV 30 and listening to All Sports 1440. Welcome back. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. 4th and 5. Basically a goal-to-go situation. Burgess drops back, has time, fires over the middle into traffic, and it's picked off. Andy Burgess again had all kinds of room to run the football and decided to fire it into traffic, and Jim O'Neill smartly makes the pick and then kneels down in the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
Really threw the ball into coverage that time. No one was open, trying to force it over the middle. And a very smart move, catching the football and falling down. Instead of getting the ball on the 5, the Riots now have a fresh set of downs at their 20. And that was a big defensive stand.
Jay, what Andy Burgess is not seeing is that he's got a lot of room to get out of that pocket and run with the football. He elected to throw into a crowd that time, and now the Red Riots keep the momentum.
First down play, handoff to Lawson. Fights in the middle, he'll only get a couple.
And this is where, as a defense now, you've got to stop. The opposition has been able to stop your offense. Thornton Academy really can ill afford to go down by 2 touchdowns this early in the game.
A gain of almost 3 on the play. Call it 2nd and 7 now for the Red Riots. The 14-6 lead, the football. And they have held. Finally, somebody didn't score on their possession. They were 3 for 3, and it looked like heading for 4 for 4. But the Red Riots come up big defensively. And now Brian Harvey is going to call a timeout. Score from Waterboro now. Biddeford 14, Massabesic 7. So the Mustangs climbing back into that one. Almost the same score as we have here. 6:16 to go in the second quarter. And Harvey not liking what he saw on the defensive side of the field for Thornton. Didn't think he had the right personnel. He calls the timeout. And now Coach Wolfgram out to discuss the play with his offense. And again, Harvey and South Portland using the run and pass to near perfection. And what our sideline reporter Jeff Harper has spotted, and we have also up here, Harvey's seeing his running chances and taking them when he has to. Quarterback Burgess so far has not seen his running opportunities out of that pocket because they have been there play after play, and he's opting to stay in the pocket and throw the football. And so far that really not working to the near perfection that they would want it to. Another score coming in, Oxford Hills and Bangor, 7-7.
No surprises there.
We knew that'd be a good one. And we both went with our heart and picked Oxford Hills in that one. Harvey brings them back out, a 2nd and 7. Straight back drop Rolling now to the left, setting up in the pocket. Big push, he's gonna run. And Alex Harper, great job getting blocked downfield, fought off the block, got back out there to make the play and take Harvey out of bounds after a gain of 3.
Yeah, great containment job really by Harper. That's his responsibility to the outside. He came up and met the challenge. Harvey continued to roll it out, and you see what a good quarterback will do in those situations. String it out, string it out. Hopefully someone pops open. Nothing there that time. Great coverage by the Trojans. And now 3rd down and about 4.
And a big play for the Thornton defense. They have been unable to stop South Portland in this contest to this point, midway through the 2nd quarter. Harvey brings them out, sends Story and Roediger to the near side. Straight drop, looks over the middle, fires out. Roediger sliding, diving, making a great catch. He'll have 10 yards and the South Portland 1st down.
Roediger running a slant over the middle. Harvey with about a 5-step drop, rifling that ball. And another 3rd down conversion by the Riots. I don't think they've been stopped on 3rd down. Obviously not, because 2 possessions, 2 scores.
And Harvey is picking apart the Thornton defense. And that's what's always dangerous when you play a team of South Portland's caliber. If you're Thornton Academy, they got a kid who is a leader in the true sense of the word. 1st and 10 for the Red Riots. Harvey hands off to Lawson. Lawson fights forward. He'll have 4, a flag down on the play. It'll be motion against South Portland. And Thornton Academy will take that penalty and mark them back 5.
And right now, the way Harvey's throwing the football, that's almost good for the Riot offense that they're going to be in a passing situation, the way he's throwing the ball.
Official talking with one of the quad captains, John Verrill. Verrill says, yeah, let's push him back.
And it's really obvious at this point what Thornton Academy needs is to get some pressure in Harvey's face. Thus far, the line of South Portland doing a great job giving him the protection he needs.
So that'll bring up a 1st and 15 now for the Red Riots. Harvey sends sends French and Story to the near side. Roediger splits out to the far side of the field. I formation, Kevin Ryan, the new fullback. Harvey trying to throw, fires out, got his man Roediger, and Roediger slips down, or else he would have had a lot more, and a gain of 11 on the play.
Harvey takes the snap, looks to the near side of the field, away from the primary target. That gets the flow of the defense going this way. Roediger runs an out on the opposite side, and once again, great delivery by Harvey, right on the money. Get some of that yardage back. Set him up for about a 2nd and 5.
Again, Story will come to the near side of the field. They'll go with double tight ends this time. Ryan and Lawson in the eye. They go to Lawson off the right side, being strung out, and he's hauled down. 2-yard loss on the play. And again, it's Alex Harper along with Dave Nassy. Harper's been the defense to this point for Thornton Academy.
Yeah, Perry, the left tackle for South Portland, trying to get to Harper, but Harper at 6'4" and 225. Pretty tough man to move to the outside. Doing a good job of standing his ground.
3rd and 7 coming up for the Red Riots. They've been perfect so far in this one on 3rd down conversions. Harvey the drop, looking up the field for French. French makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Oh, baby, what a catch.
He was blanketed by the outside linebacker for the Trojans, Dave Nassy. That ball was thrown exactly where it needed to be. A nice soft touch to the near side of the field. French looking over his shoulder and coming up with the soft hand grab. And South Portland once again able to move those chains. Great throw and beautiful catch.
Harvey looks like Fran Tarkenton down there. My goodness, is he just scrambling and picking the secondary of the Trojans apart. Obviously a great thrown football, but French, a spectacular over-the-shoulder catch to the outside. And the Red Riots have it 1st and 10 at Thornton Academy's 43. You can't stop this Red Riot team. You can only hope to contain them at this point.
And the way the Riots are coming in, Jay, obviously not feeling any pressure. The number 8 seed, everyone's expecting Thornton Academy to take this ball game this afternoon, and they're really playing loose out there and making things happen. And right now, when you look over 3 minutes to go here in the first half, Thornton Academy has to come up with a big defensive series to be able to stop these Riots for the first time this afternoon.
Lawson gets the handoff on first down. He fights forward for about a half a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 now for the Red Riots. The ball at the Thornton Academy 42-yard line. As you said, now inside of 3 minutes to go, first half. Roediger comes to the near. French and Story go to the far. Harvey rolling, looking to throw. Wide open is Story, goes over the middle for French, and this time the ball just overthrown. French has it go in and out of his fingertips, but really a tough ball for anyone to come up with. But the spectacular great hands of Ben French. Where's number 80? Wasn't that the number of Steve Largent? He looks like Largent out there.
French had a couple of steps on the Trojan secondary, and really a well-thrown ball. That's what you want to do in those situations. You want to make sure you don't underthrow your receiver. If anything, throw it long, give him a chance to run under with that speed. And South Portland almost coming up with another fine hookup.
And Harvey that time opted for French over the middle. Story was breaking to the outside, wide open, but the ball was already released down the middle. 3rd and 9. They've done it every time so far. Can they do it again? Harvey, pressure, fires out. The ball overthrown. And that time, pressure coming in from Knox and Hetty Harris. And they leveled quarterback Brian Harvey. And with the incomplete pass, it'll stop the clock with 2:35 to go in the first half. And it appears South Portland changing personnel will punt it away.
And Boudreaux goes back on a deep drop to stay with the Riot receiver and get some help from the left corner, Christian Doyen. And now South Portland, you would think, with a punting situation coming here, should be able to pin the Trojans deep in their end.
Richard Rio coming in late, filling the gap left by injured Patrick Toms. And 4th and 9, back to receive the punt. Mercier and Doyon, they stand at their 10. Blackwood's kick, a good one. High, Mercier calls fair catch inside the 10. And really something you don't do in those situations. You let the ball bounce and hope that it goes into the end zone. But Thornton Academy gets the clean fielded ball by Mercier, and they'll start 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line.
That's where you have to take a gamble as a guy back there fielding the punt. And what I mean by a gamble, let it bounce and hope that it's going to roll into the end zone. You're only going to lose 5 yards. Right now, they're asking their offense to drive 97 yards down the field. Or 93, rather, excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to check your math on that, Paquette.
Got to know your gazintas, I guess.
They hand off to Boudreaux, and Boudreaux somehow stays on his feet and rumbles forward for about 6.
The Trojans right now are going to try to get a little breathing room to their back, and if they're successful, as they were last week against Portland with a big run from True, you may see them put the ball up in the air. The last thing they want right now is to make a mistake and give South Portland great field position just before the end of the half.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 4 now for the Thornton offense. Stetson comes to the near side, Mercier to the far, Trojans in the eye. The handoff to True. True spinning in the middle, staying on his feet, hammered and pummeled. He'll get a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and short now. No. Looked like they were going to measure. Now they'll view it from their vantage point, and the officials will say it's just short. 3rd and 1, less than a yard. You would think quarterback Burgess will just fight forward. Let's see if he can get behind center Perrault and push forward. They try the option play, very dangerous. Ryan True breaking outside, staying on his feet. He'll have the first down. He gets out of bounds, stopping the clock. Dangerous play for the Trojans, but it works.
Well, we've been asking to mix things up and see a little bit of excitement. 3rd and a foot to go, you expect fullback dive. Not the case, and really, the first time in recent memory I can recall that Burgess electing to go with the pitch outside to True. He picks up big first down yardage and gets the ball out of bounds, which stops the clock with 1:18 to go, and the ball at the 28-yard line.
Burgess sends Doyon to the far side, Nassi to the near. He's gonna throw. Looking deep down the field. He's out there, the ball's there, the defense is there, flags are flying all over the place. And let's see what this is all about.
But you'd think there are gonna be 2 different calls. We had one flag on the near side, Jay, early on, and then the far side official throwing the flag very late.
Looks like it'll be against the Trojans. Biddeford now leads 17-7. Choi a field goal. No surprise. Let's see what the official call is here.
I think it was ineligible receiver down the field was the indication.
Let's go down for a sideline report with Jeff Harper.
Little chaos down here. They got an ineligible man downfield. Trojans still not capitalizing on Burgess. Ability to run.
Burgess rolling out, and now he will do that. He will run. He's still going, stays inbounds. He's still breaking tackles, and now hauled out. He'll have a first down.
Well, he was stopped, what looked to be stopped, about the 32-yard line, and it looks like all the Riots stood around thinking he was going to run out of bounds. He pops it back towards the inside and tacks on about another 12.
A minute 1 to play. South Portland will use a timeout. We'll take a break. Our score, South Portland 14, Thornton Academy 6. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper and Marc Paquette with you. And the Trojans pick up the first down on Andy Burgess's 17-yard run.
And right now, watch for the Trojans to use the back out of the backfield. They've been effective doing that, especially the fullback, Jason Boudreau and Ryan True. They usually run a couple of deep routes to clear the zones and then try to get something underneath. We saw last week on the last play of the first half, a hookup between Burgess and Boudreau being stopped at about the 1 foot yard, just shy of that touchdown.
And this time, Coach John Wolfgram of South Portland used the defensive timeout. Burgess had gotten out of bounds to stop the clock anyway. 1st and 10, Trojans. Burgess brings them out. He has Stetson and Doyen to the far side. Trojans in the eye. Burgess to pass. All kinds of time. Going deep. Got a man out there. Doyen got it. He's at the 10, the 5, the 4, and he's hauled down at the 4-yard line. What a throw by Burgess.
You could see that play developing, similar out and up type pattern run by Doyen. Burgess standing tall in the pocket, waiting for him to clear the corner, and then just lofting that ball. Beautiful throw down the field. Doyen with the great hands coming up with the reception. Now Thornton Academy with the ball at the 4-yard line.
First down and goal to go. Clock ticks to 45-44. Burgess to Hetty Harris. Hetty Harris in traffic, fighting, spinning. Oh, touchdown, Trojans.
He was hit at the 3, puts a spin move on, keeps the legs churning, baby. And he's in 6 points. Character drive for Thornton Academy.
They go. 93 yards in 5 plays. The Golden Trojans now within 2, and they'll use a timeout to talk over whether they want to go for the straight 2 or kick the 1. Obviously, they've got to go for 2 here to try to tie it up, and Coach Agressi will come out and talk to his quarterback. Let's go down for another sideline report.
Hey, Jay, you got to like the way Chad Hetty Harris smells that goal line. Give him the football. I'd give him the football again right now. And what a pass by Burgess. Put a lot of air on it out here, and Doyen got his man beat. Beautiful play, and we got a ball game here at Thornton Academy.
All right, definitely do. And yes, Burgess putting a lot of air and Doyen running under it. And then a good job by Lessa to get back to make the tackle as David Lessa giving up a little bit of speed to Christian Doyen. And that time Burgess right on the money on that bomb. That ball was thrown about 45 yards in the air.
And an update from Ronco Field, the Tigers 24 now, Massabesic 7. You mind if I change my pick, Jay?
Go for it, Paquette.
Didn't I say the Tigers had this one all the way?
You can't play these teams with that rich tradition and pride. You get the Tigers in the playoffs, and they're just another team. They turn it up a couple notches. And, of course, Massabesic with a slight fear, traveling to the unknown area. A playoff game against Biddeford, semifinals. And They just don't have it. Still a lot of football in that one, though. Trojans come out to go for two. Stetson and Mercier and True all to the far side of the field. Burgess rolling that way. Fires out, man wide open. Ryan True makes the catch, and the Trojans have tied it.
The Trojans send two men to the far side in slot formation, put True right on that slot, off tackle. They run in straight to clear the zone, and then True runs to the right flat, wide open. Burgess rolls right, hits him, and this thing is tied up. What a first half.
Well, what we've seen from both quarterbacks today is brilliant play. Harvey really dominating early and throughout this game. Burgess now stepping it up in that last drive. And what I've liked, what I just saw was that Andy Burgess coming off the field really emotional and pumped up, something we haven't seen from him that much this season. He's really fired up for this one. He wants to lead his team, and he's showing all the emotion that Brian Harvey does after they score. You see Harvey running and pumping and shuffling. He's got a good dance already in stride and performed. He knows week after week he's going to come up with that one. This time Burgess comes off and takes the helmet off and puts it up in the air, and really showing the emotion and leadership of the senior quarterback.
Burgess showed that type of emotion last week also, and you saw the direct effect it had on that Trojan offense. You need the quarterback being a big leader. He certainly showed that he can do that.
Ryan True set to kick off. Still 39 seconds left, and South Portland can strike quickly too. This half maybe not over yet. Onside kick by the Trojans. Ball loose, but Crosby comes diving in last second to make the recovery, and you gotta like that call there too. I think that's a good gutsy call, and South Portland almost caught off guard, but Crosby made the very athletic play to field that. The ball at the 43.
And with Harvey now, they can get a couple of big pickups on first down, could get the ball within field goal range, the wind to their back.
Looks like South Portland, though, coming out very conservative here. The clock's ticking, and they're waiting and wasting time. And they're going to take a knee and go to the locker room tied at 14.
And the biggest thing about that score by the Trojans now, they go in stealing the momentum, and they receive the football in the second half.
Clock ticks down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And Thornton Academy and South Portland trot off. At the end of the first half, score 14-14. Let's go down for another sideline report with Jeff Harper.
Hey, Jay, the Trojans finishing strong. Right now, the word on the South Portland bench is that Packy Toms will not play. And it's you got to feel sorry for him. He's a backbone of offense and defense that could really hurt the South Portland running game in the second half. Trojans just have to concentrate on stopping the passing game of Brian Harvey.
All right, excellent and unfortunate for South Portland. They occur another very detrimental injury to their staff. They've already lost Andrew Fawcett to start the beginning of the year. Then John Buck goes down for the season. And now Patrick Toms lost in this game with the score tied at 14-14. That's a huge loss to this very good South Portland football team.
It certainly is, because not only is he going to be missed on offense, I think the biggest loss they're going to find is on the defensive side of the ball. He's a tremendous linebacker all over the field. And watching him walk off the field right now, obviously looking dejected, and let's just hope that it's nothing too serious and he's able to bounce back.
All right, our score at the half. Thornton Academy 14 and South Portland 14. We expected a good one. We got every bit of it. A brilliant performance by both clubs here in the first half. We'll take a break. Back after this. Welcome back to Hill Stadium. Jeff Harper, Marc Paquette. And of course for our CTV 30 viewers. Simulcast today with All Sports 1440. Always keeps it interesting, and the great thing, Mark, is we draw 2 paychecks for this one. Little extra money.
And things are alive next week. I guess you could say you're going to be in the finals no matter what happens here this afternoon.
For all our listeners out there, it's difficult to keep yourself neutral in a game when you've been covering a team for as many years as we've covered Thornton Academy, and now 2 years for me with South Portland. And it's tough when they meet each other to try to keep it neutral. Blackwood kicks off. Mercier fields it at the 13. Starts upfield, looking in the middle, nothing doing as he's brought down at the 23-yard line. South Portland with excellent coverage and a strong kick from Blackwood.
Yeah, Mercier fields the ball right at the 10 marker and tries to cut it back to the middle, but nothing doing. Great pursuit by the Riots of South Portland.
So Thornton Academy with it. 1st and 10 as we start the second half. Burgess brings them out. Stetson to the far, Doran to the near. Trojans in the familiar eye. Pitch comes to Ryan True. Reads the block, breaks outside, and slips down as he was about to jaunt off a nice pickup. He loses his footing and falls after a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, he puts a nice move on, really, cutting it to the inside and setting up his blocker. The defensive player for the Riots cuts in. Boudreau pushes him that way, and as he goes to turn the corner, as you said, slipping down, had an alley out here, but only picking up 1 yard.
David Lessa making the play, fighting off the block and staying with it. Score coming in from Ronco Field. Yes, the route is on. 31-7, Tigers. Massabesic fumbled the opening kickoff of the second half, and Biddeford immediately turns it into points. 2nd and 10. Burgess to throw, flag comes in, pass is complete, and they're going to call probably, I don't know.
I don't think there's much doubt there. Usually when the flag comes there, it's holding on the offense, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Too bad for the Trojans, because a good hookup from Burgess. They had first down yardage, but now that's going to back them up. They'll be faced with a 2nd and long.
And deep inside their own territory, this will force the play calling of Thornton Academy a little bit more conservative, you would think, because deep inside your own territory, you got to watch what happens here. The ball spotted all the way back to the 12-yard line now. And it'll be 2nd and, see, 2nd and 21, where they spot it. Massey goes to the far. Stetson comes to the near. Double slot formation usually means pass. But they go with a draw up the middle. Boudreau has had tough time finding running room. He gets 4 yards and gets it out to the 16-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 17.
Trojans try to catch the Riots thinking pass and go with a little inside handoff to Boudreau. Good job up front by South Portland, smelling that one out. And now Thornton Academy's going to be forced here to throw the football.
And remember, in that game against Biddeford to start the second half, Thornton moving the ball nicely. That big penalty came in, and it changed the whole complexion of the game. It's happening here. Thornton picked up the first down, but the holding call really changing the complexion. Burgess rolling out, got time, hits Boudreau. Boudreau with a catch, trying to fight for the first down. He gets driven out at the 28. He'll be well short of the first down, and the Red Riots have held defensively.
Well executed play by Thornton Academy, but they needed about 17, able to come up with about 11. And now they're going to have to punt the football. The first time we've seen a punt here this afternoon.
Well, something you talked about this morning when we got together for our pregame is you've been waiting to see Burgess, a quarterback, fake the punt. He can throw, he can run. But deep inside your own territory, I don't think this is the time.
Definitely not the time. You want to try to get South Portland back as far as you can.
South Portland sends back Story and Harvey, a very dangerous tandem. Kick off the side of the foot of Burgess, but goes out at the 49-yard line of South Portland. A 23-yard punt for Burgess, but no return, so South Portland gets great field position.
Absolutely, their defense does the job. They answer the call, and they give the ball back to their offense at the 49-yard line.
South Portland field hockey team won the state championship today, 1-0. Congratulations to the girls and the Red Riots. They've been there numerous times. They finally come up with it. Handoff up the middle. Lawson down the field. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. Where did that play come from?
They run a little, I'd like to call it misdirection, and just shoot Lawson right over the middle. Harvey looks like he's going to go to the outside. Hands it to Lawson to the inside, and he just shoots right down the middle of the field, untouched. And he shows a good burst of speed right about the 20, cutting it to the outside of the field. No Trojans able to catch him. One play, and South Portland back on the board.
A 51-yard run for sophomore Tim Lawson. He just flew through the middle, a huge hole, and he just kept it going. And he goes into the end zone, broke it back to the outside. Black went in for the extra point try. The kick is up, and again, it finds its mark through the middle of the post. And with 9:32 to go, third quarter, the offense continues. The Red Riots take the 21-14 lead on the 51-yard run from Tim Lawson.
Well, when they say football is a chess match, you see what adjustments the opposition makes and you make your moves. They certainly had the right call against that Thornton Academy defense that time. Totally fooling them, no one in sight. And now the question is, we've seen Thornton Academy this afternoon thus far able to come back, answer the call offensively themselves. Can they muster it up again?
That reminds me as to the start of the second half versus Massabesic. Trojans came out, got pinned in their own territory on a penalty on the kickoff, and had to punt it away.
And never recovered.
Short punt, and next thing you know, it was a touchdown, and the onslaught was on. South Portland, Ben Blackwood to kick off. Back in the middle, Ryan True. Good booming end-over-end kick. It will be True from the 9. Up the middle, breaks it back outside, finds a seam, down the sideline, jumps over a man, and gets it all the way to the 40-yard line. Boy, what an acrobatic run by Ryan True. Reminds me of Kelvin Hill, the way he likes to leap over would-be tacklers.
That's a good comparison, actually, to Kelvin Hill.
Are you surprised that I had a good comparison?
No, actually, Jay, I am not. I can't say that I am.
Thornton Academy gets decent field position out to the 39-yard line. Trailing 21-14, opening moments, third quarter. And what has been an explosive offensive performance by both clubs. Burgess goes to the handoff inside, and Boudreaux hammered down in the middle. Drew Hughes comes up huge and makes the stick, and it actually knocks him for a half-a-yard loss on first down.
First time around, Thornton Academy, the first game they played in South Portland, had a lot of success on that play, a counter to the fullback. But this afternoon, in the middle of this field right now, South Portland doing a fine job. I think where it's at for Thornton Academy is going to be to the outside of the field.
2nd and 10. Burgess sends Massey and Doyon to the far. Stetson comes to the near. Looking for Stetson. Coverage is there. Now throwing deep. Bumped. And we get the flag. Lesser will be flagged, and now the other official says, well, you called it. I guess I better make myself look good, because it didn't look like he was going to call it. But the near side official sees the bump as the ball was in the air, and Thornton Academy gets a break there.
And it really is a break. A good call, I believe, because the bump did come, and it stopped Stetson from being able to jump up. But Lesser really was all over him. And an unfortunate type of penalty where more of an incidental type contact. Still have to have the flag, though. And Thornton Academy is going to pick up a first down about the 45.
Yeah, it would have been a very difficult catch for Stetson going up high, and that ball had plenty of mustard on it. You guys saw a little bit of relish coming by, too, as Burgess really rifled that ball down the field. They mark off 15 yards. It gives Thornton Academy a 1st and 10 at the South Portland 46. Double slot formation for the Trojans. They send Mercier in motion. Burgess pitches to Mercier. Mercier trying to get outside, and what a stick. James Story, oh, there's a tackle. He threw his whole body right into Mercier's midsection and just knocked him back. And Mercier comes off a little shaken up.
Well, Story was actually off balance and more of a body block type tackle. And a good thing he did, because Mercier's quick, and if he gets to the outside, he's very elusive. Nice defensive job by Story of South Portland.
Story had a big game last week versus Lewiston. He's doing it again today. On both sides of the ball, and these seniors stepping up, filling the void of Patrick Toms. 2nd and 11. Burgess to throw. Fires out in the flat. The ball almost picked. Lessa got his mitts up there and almost had the ball. And that throw there, you got to wonder about Thornton Academy throwing the ball way across the field. About a 20-yard throw for Burgess, but he only would have gained about 3 yards had that ball been caught by the Trojans.
That is a real tough throw to throw it across the football field and complete it. And Lesser reads the eyes of Burgess, not going for the fake. Of course, Andy not being able to see him, and he drops right into that zone where the football's thrown, almost coming up with an interception.
3rd and 11 now for the Golden Trojans. Stetson and Doyon go to the far side of the field. Trojans in the eye. Burgess to throw. Has time, going deep down the field. Ball short. Story with the interception, the one-hand juggling act. And now he returns it, gets it all the way back to the 34-yard line.
Story makes the type of interception you see NBA rebounders. He goes back there, the ball behind him, goes up with his left hand. One hand pulls the ball down, and a huge turnover for the Red Riots of South Portland.
Story had 2 big interceptions last week. He comes up with 1 this week. The kid will make the big play, and he does once again. Burgess got a little too much thumb on that ball, and the ball waffled out there. And Story able to stop and come back to the ball first. And then, as you said, the one hand up and the rebound type interception. And the Red Riots have it 1st and 10 from their own 34. That same play, and Lawson this time gets hit and met at the line of scrimmage, pushes forward for a gain of about a yard.
The Riots figuring, why not? We'll try it again. Had some great success last time. The Trojans up to the task on this play.
It's a great call. It's tough to pick up that quick handoff. Lawson really got through there on the touchdown run quickly, and he did there, but that time Thornton stayed at home in the middle. 2nd and 9 for the Red Riots. Harvey fakes, rolls right. Knox trying to get out there, can't make the play. Here comes Harvey, and he'll get the 1st down, rambling for 11 yards.
Well, he shows his quickness on that play, almost getting taken down in the backfield by Aaron Knox, the defensive end for Thornton Academy, and really turns on the afterburners for 11-yard pickup and another Riot 1st down.
No team has had more than an 8-point lead, a 1-touchdown lead, and South Portland now threatening to do so. They scored on their 1st possession of the 3rd quarter and moving the football once again. They have it out to the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Double tight ends for the Red Riots. Harvey goes to David Lessa. Lessa gets only a yard. Brought down on the outside by Alex Harder, who's been the mainstay for the Golden Trojans this afternoon.
Yeah, that whole front line that time for the Trojans, just hitting and reading. Lesser tries to bounce it to the outside when he sees everything congested in the middle, but once again, Harder right there. And now the ever-dangerous Harvey going to try to weave some more magic.
This is his down, 2nd and long. Story goes to the far side. And Harvey to throw, rolling out, pressure coming at him now, trying to get outside. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. John Verrill and Alex Harder making the play for the Trojans.
Harder holds the outside, and Verrill breaks it right over the middle, giving Harvey no place to go. And good job downfield by the secondary of Thornton Academy. No one open. Harvey just does the smart thing, steps out of bounds, instead of trying to force one in there.
It'll be 3rd down and 11 now, a loss of 3 on the play. And Alex Harder doing a great job on that outside, staying at home, and that time Verrill was strong pursuit from his right tackle position. 3rd and 11. Harvey brings them out, brings French and Story to the near side, rolls right, looks downfield, steps up, lofts it out, bump out there, and there's the flag.
Again, an incidental type hit. Doyen was just running to the area of the football, but clearly knocks Story down at the 40. And once again, the Riots are going to have a fresh set of downs.
And that was one of those uncatchable balls, too. The ball was thrown over the head. That not a rule in high school football. The ball up in the air, and it's Doyen just a little overzealous at trying to get to the play. And he puts the bump on Story, and the big mistake made by the Trojans, because they would have had the stop and force South Portland into the punting situation. But the Janes moved down the sideline once again, and those guys on the other side of the field, that over 40 club, they're getting a workout over there today, up and down the sidelines.
And I think they want a gutsy player call after the game for their performance down on the sidelines.
Of course, the Chains crew of Lloyd Stetson, Bill Wagner, and Arthur Tardif. Handoff Lawson into the secondary, bouncing, bumbling, stumbling, fights his way all the way down to the Thornton Academy 26-yard line. A gain of 15 on the play.
That was all Lawson, breaking about 5 tackles en route to that 15-yard pickup. This kid definitely is not running like a young sophomore, Jay.
And talking to the South Portland coaching staff after last week's victory, Coach Wolf Graham and George C. Hagan and company saying he's only 15.
Unbelievable. This kid is big. Lawson at 5'9", listed in the program, 202 pounds. Can definitely put a hurt on a defensive player.
And we've seen his speed, not bad. And now he's moved to fullback. They've actually moved him up to fullback to play for Toms, and they moved Lessa at the tailback position. So showing his versatility as well. 1st and 10 for the Red Riots. The ball down to Thornton Academy's 26-yard line. It's Lawson to the outside. This time hauled down. Alex Harper there to make the tackle.
Well, I think the Riots right now would be well advised to run things on the near side of the field, because every time they run over on that side, Alex Harper's there to eat up the ball carrier.
Gain of only 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Another score coming in from Waterboro. 37-7 now. Biddeford Tigers. So next week's game will be in Biddeford. I'll go on a limb and say that right now.
That's a gutsy call, Jay.
I've been known for those. 2nd and 9. Harvey has him out. Double slot formation. Quick handoff, Lawson. He'll get a couple. It'll be 3rd down now and about 6. Eddie Harris making the tackle for the Trojans. And that quick hitter has really worked nicely for Lawson and the Red Riot offense. And now a big play, and deep down in this territory, you would think 4-down territory, especially with the ball outside the 20. Blackwood can kick it, but not from that distance. 3rd and 6. Harvey drops back, looks out in the flat, fires low, but there's French, got the catch. He's got it out of bounds, and the Red Riots will move the chains again.
Once again, Harvey looks to the right side away from the primary receiver when he drops back. And French runs a little out just beyond the 1st down marker. And as you've heard us say many times this afternoon, Harvey, right on the money with his throw. And now the Red Riots are threatening to go up by 2 scores.
Great.
All inside the 15.
Great timing pattern. They could run that play, I think, on every down. 1st and 10, the ball inside the 15. Harvey, handoff Lawson. Flag comes in. Lawson into the secondary. He'll get in. Touchdown.
That's going to come back. I think you're going to have a holding call on the Riots.
Harvey doesn't see the flag yet. He's celebrating like crazy, and now you got to see the flag. It's there, and Thornton gets a little breath of fresh air.
Once again, though, Lawson gets hit at the 5, just keeps going and finds the end zone. All for naught, of course. Ooh, that's a big call.
Well, the Trojans have had their share of penalties and big points, and this one saves a touchdown. It happened for South Portland last week as a 50-yard run by Gendron came back on a holding call, and that kept it a scoreless game in the 1st half, and then South Portland exploding in the 2nd half. The holding call, they march it back from the spot of the foul, puts it all the way back out to the 23. They need to get down to the 4 for the 1st down. So 1st and 19. Harvey has Roediger and Story to the near, French to the far. Harvey to throw, looking for that quick little out with French. French makes the catch. That kid is amazing.
Wow, what a catch by French. Harvey throws the ball down low and forcing French to dive, stretched right out, able to hold on.
He reminds me of me when I played.
What, falling down, you mean? Or?
I actually did make a lot of diving catches.
Well, see, I didn't have the pleasure of being able to watch you play, Jay, when you were in high school. I was off to college, so. And I know I missed a lot.
Well, a 6-3 record in the regular season. Today's playoff format, we would have been right in there. 2nd and 12. Harvey rolling out, pressure coming in, and Boudreaux, along with Fisk, hammer him down for the sack. A loss of 5 on the play.
That's what you need to do against a great quarterback such as Harvey. They single up, single coverage on all the receivers, and they send a couple of backers to try and get in his face. He slips down at the 21. Boudreaux right there to sack him.
3:34 to play, 3rd quarter. South Portland with a 21-14 lead over Thornton Academy with the ball at the 21. 3rd and 17. Again, in the 4-down territory. 3 receivers to the near side. Harvey rolls that way. Got time. Lofts it downfield. Picked off. Libby's going to run it out. He's at the 10. And he gets knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And the Trojans have the defensive answer inside the end zone.
That's a huge pick for Thornton Academy. Libby just sits back there in the end zone, goes up high, grabs the ball, and then elects to run it out and gets the ball about the 17-yard line.
All right, let's go down for a sideline report.
Big play by the defense as Libby comes out big. Could have maybe stayed in the end zone, but he takes it out. The big Mo shifts. The Trojans see what they can do.
All right, Matt Libby with the play and gets it out to the 17-yard line. 1st and 10, Thornton Academy. Burgess on the option. He's crunched, but he gets it off to True. True dives back and gets maybe a yard gain. Holds on to the football, a dangerous play, but that option play worked a little bit early on. Again, it's starting to falter for the Golden Trojans.
The Riots had all three options covered that time in fullback, quarterback, and pitch man. Great defensive effort.
Hard to imagine, but this South Portland defense is playing better here in the second half than they did earlier when they had their big guy in the middle, Patrick Toms. They've turned it up a notch.
And you often see that when teams have a big player go down, they realize they all have to pull together and get that much stronger. Perfect case in the case of the Riots right now.
A loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 12. Burgess has him out. Gonna pass. Got time. Fires over the middle. Deep. Picked off. Overthrown. There's O'Neal.
Burgess going for a receiver over the middle, overthrown. And Jim O'Neal standing back there, goes down to his knees and comes up with the pick at the 34. The Riot defense getting it right back for their offense. Great field position.
2:13 to go now, 3rd quarter. South Portland leading 21-14. Semifinals in Western A. They have the ball at Thornton's 35. Harvey on 1st down goes to Lawson. Lawson gets into the secondary. Watch him go. He'll get 10, 11 yards, and the Chains will have to move it down the sideline again. The Trojans, after they have a turnover, have really let the emotions take over. And a little bit dejected, and they give up a big 1st down play.
Yeah, you got to be a good, strong team in transition here, and after the turnover, you have to have the mentality to come up big and get the ball back for your offense.
Harvey with it. 1st and 10, comes out, surveys the defense, barks the signals. Straight drop on 1st down, looking deep for Story. He's out there, he's open, and it's just overthrown. Story had Matt Libby beat on that left corner, but the ball just overthrown. Another great timing pattern tried by the Red Riots.
Hey, he takes 2 steps towards the inside like he's going to run a post, and then cuts it to the corner. And Harvey just throws the ball out there. A little too much arm on that one. Story wide open, though, breaking into the end zone.
Clock stops. Minute 33 to go, 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 10 now for the Red Riots. Split backfield with Lessa and Lawson. Story goes to the far side. Double tight ends. Harvey's going to keep it. Steps up inside, and guess who's there?
Could it be Alex Harper once again?
He has been immense. As big as his stature, 6'4", 225. He's played all of that today, and he hauls Harvey down for no gain on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 now. The ball at the 23 of Thornton Academy.
And you like to see the kids that come out and play their best football in the big games. Alex Harper coming up huge this afternoon defensively for the Trojans.
3rd and 10. Harvey, double slot formation. French comes to the near side. Now Story in motion to the near side. A lot of movement. Here comes the pressure. There goes Harvey. Throws over the middle. It's tipped. No, it's incomplete as French almost made the miraculous, sensational, almost unimaginable catch, and the ball just came out of his hands at the last second.
I don't know how I'm going to recap this one. The ball's tipped and goes high up in the air. French on the ground, turns over to his back and almost comes up with the ball. I thought he had caught it. A Trojan dives in there at the same time, and the ball comes loose. My goodness, that kid's exciting.
Was that Lester Hayes, the guy that wore all that stickum? The kid's got to have something on those hands. It's unbelievable how he pulls in the football. South Portland will use a timeout. We'll take a break. Our score, South Portland 21, Thornton Academy 14. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. As we throw the headsets back on, a huge fourth down play coming up for the South Portland Red Riots. And of course, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. South Portland with the lead, 21-14, looking at a fourth and a little more than 10. They have been big in these situations. Harvey sends French and Story to the far side. Double tight ends, it's Lessa and Rodiger. Harvey looking over the middle, fires out. The ball's there, the catch is there, French! Oh, baby!
Harvey looks to the left side, goes over the middle. Boudreau was there and actually overran the football. Somehow French was able to sidestep Boudreau at the 3, come up with the catch, and high step it into the end zone.
Oh my God, is this kid amazing? He has taken this game into his own hands, literally. And again, Thornton's coverage looked to be there. French stepped inside and made the catch and then danced into the end zone. And the kick by Blackwood, that's a done deal. Did it, done it, doing it again. Ben Blackwood, and he has South Portland now with a very nice 28-14 lead over the Golden Trojans. Still 38 seconds to go, third quarter. A lot of football left, but these Red Riots look tuned, oiled, and ready to go. And their defense has come up big in the second half, shutting out Thornton Academy so far.
No secrets on top. Thornton Academy knew they'd have to stop Harvey in the throwing department. Have not been able to do so, and that's not so much to their failure as it is just a fine performance by Harvey with the cooperation, of course, of his receivers, especially that young man, French.
Ben French. Not much mustard put on that ball, but French liked it anyway. That was just a little bit lofted. French is mustard, oh yeah, I'm all over this. But the voice change in that, I think Tony Ryan came in and called that touchdown. That was just amazing. You saw the ball float out there, and somehow French got in front and made the catch and got the 6 for the Red Riots. Low bobbling kick now picked up by Mercier. Good block in there. Mercier looking for a seam. And he'll get it out to about the 33-yard line, where the Trojans will set up 1st and 10, and they'll need to strike, and strike quickly.
And they still haven't been able to find the deep center of the field to Stetson.
1st down and 10, Golden Trojans come out. Stetson and Doyen go to the far side. Now they send Ryan True in motion that way. Burgess will throw on 1st down. He has it tipped and blocked. It's caught up in the air. Boudreau pitches it over to Wolfart, and Wolfart now dives through the middle. Good teamwork.
Folks, I'll tell you, there have been some of the strangest plays out on this field this afternoon. Burgess goes to throw the football, and I believe it was Scott Chadburn gets the mitts up there, bats it straight up in the air. Burgess tips it, goes to Boudreau, who laterals it to the tight end of Thornton Academy, Jeff Wolfart, all for a 3-yard loss.
And that will end the third quarter here in Saco with our score. South Portland Red Riots 28, Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 14. Welcome back. Burgess rolling out. Now he's going to run, and he'll get forward for about 6 yards, but he's knocked down by Hughes and Lessa. That'll bring up now a 3rd down and 9 for Thornton Academy, and they are in deep trouble, deep inside their own territory, down 2 touchdowns to the number 8 seeded South Portland Red Riots.
Deep trouble indeed.
Well, we've had a number 5 seed win it all. Bitterford Tigers did that in '91. Red Riots looking to win it all from the number 8 slot. Burgess fires out. Mercier there makes the catch. A strong catch, and he'll have just enough for the 1st down. What a play by Chris Mercier.
Great catch by Mercier, picking that ball right off his shoe tops as he's going the other way. And most importantly, clears that first down marker when he breaks off his pattern, picking up a big first down for Thornton Academy.
1st and 10, the ball out now to the 44-yard line. Burgess rolling, now throws down the field, bobbled, and O'Neal with a strong play coming up right in front of Wolfhart and makes the tip, and Wolfhart can't catch up to it after he juggled it momentarily.
And we've got a flag right at midfield.
And again, ineligible man downfield.
What Thornton Academy is doing is off the play action, pulling the guards and getting them set up in front of Burgess. And apparently what's happening is they're crossing that line of scrimmage, getting a little too far down the field.
South Portland refuses the penalty. Kind of surprised by that maybe, but the pass incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. The ball at the 44. Clock stops, 10:58 to play in the 4th quarter. Stetson and Mercier both come to the short near side of the field. Blitz coming in. Burgess gets away from one man, but he's not going to get away from Roediger as he wraps up Burgess and hammers him to the turf. That'll be a big, big loss.
Drew Hughes comes right over the middle untouched. Doesn't get to Burgess, but forces him to the outside. And man, did he ever take a huge pop out there.
And now that'll bring up 3rd down and 20 for Thornton Academy. South Portland fired up, playing a sensational second half, rallying around their lost leader, Patrick Toms, and boy, have they had the answer in this second half. 3rd and 20, Burgess brings them out. Stetson and Doyen go to the far side of the field. Rolls left, sets up, lets it go down the field. Doyen getting out there, but he can't quite catch up to it. Harvey and Lessa with double coverage. And Thornton Academy is going to have to do the unthinkable. Down 2 touchdowns, they're going to have to punt it away.
Now they try to run that same pattern to Doyen to the outside, the out and up, but double covered out there by the Riots. And had the ball been on the mark, very easily could have been picked off. Again, great defense by South Portland, forcing Thornton Academy to get the ball back into the ever-dangerous hands of Brian Harvey and company.
Burgess back to punt it away. He stands at his own 23. Gets off a high, wobbly kick. Fair catch called by Harvey. He makes it at the 33-yard line, where the Red Riots will take over. 1st and 10, leading 28-14, 9:58 to play. And they just need to use the clock and the ground game. Keep those chain workers moving, which they have done very effectively throughout this one.
Yeah, and if you're Thornton Academy, you can't sit back expecting South Portland strictly to run, because the way they've been able to move the ball through the air, I don't think they're going to stay ultra conservative here. If they can keep the ball out of the hands of Thornton Academy, they're in business.
First down handoff goes to Lawson. He stumbles and falls down. Covered up by Alex Harder and Jason Boudreau. Second and 11. Loss of 1 on the play. The clock does move. Definitely the friend of the Red Riots. Harvey sends Story to the far side of the field. Split backfield with Lessa and Lawson. Double tight ends, Crosby and Roediger. Harvey rolling right. Pressure coming in. Hetty Harris wraps him up and throws him down. A loss of 8 on the play.
Ooh, Hetty Harris shoots the hole between Blackwood and Buck and sacks Harvey back there for a big loss. Going to force him into a 3rd and about 20.
Let's see if South Portland has a play for this. They've had a play for just about every situation here this afternoon. And if I'm Thornton Academy, I'm watching Ben French, number 80. And 2 guys wasn't enough on the last touchdown pass. Maybe they'll try triple teaming him. I think Shaquille O'Neal about the only player that gets that kind of coverage. Great to see the NBA underway last night. We finally have some real sports highlights on a daily basis. Story comes to the near side. They don't even have French on the field. And Harvey's going to roll right and probably just a flat-out run. And he'll get taken out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. A mistake there by the senior. He went out of bounds. He should have tried to keep it in to keep the clock going.
Yeah, it does the favorable thing for Thornton Academy, stopping the clock. Right now, they need all the time they can get. You look up there at 8:25 and down by 2 scores. South Portland right now is going to be punting into a stiff wind. And you'd think the Trojans would come up with some excellent field position. Lining up to field the punt at their own 40-yard line.
Blackwood to kick it away from his own 20. Pressure coming in and a short kick, but it'll take a big bounce. Mercia comes up and fields it though. There's Story right there, and he gets help from O'Neill, but a gutsy play by the sophomore Mercier, but he gets Thornton Academy excellent field position inside South Portland's territory at the 49.
Good aggressive play by Mercia, trying to make something happen, fielding the ball after it took one bounce. But a heads-up play by that Riot. And this is a big offensive series and defensive series for South Portland. If they're able to stop Thornton Academy here and get the ball back, it could be over.
And Thornton Academy, if they could score within 2 or 3 minutes, still enough football left for them to come back and pull the heroics. Burgess to pass. Lofts it out. He's got True there. True makes the catch. Runs over Story and picks up 17 yards down to the 32 of South Portland.
And there's that route that has been missing this afternoon for Thornton Academy, using the running backs coming out of the backfield, getting underneath the coverage.
They move the chains, restart the clock. Under 8 minutes to go. South Portland leading 28-14. Burgess again to throw. Fires high, and Stetson goes up high but can't make the catch. Coverage provided by Jason Flagg.
Flag all over him. Right at the 25-yard line.
Coach Agresti and Thornton should be still thinking we can still run the football occasionally to mix it up. They've got South Portland thinking pass on every down now. A nice draw play wouldn't hurt because enough time. They send Stetson and Doyen to the far side of the field. High formation. They do just that. Ryan True, big hole. Keeps going down inside the 25.
Good call. And really catching that defense thinking pass.
And now it's 3rd and a little more than a yard, so the Trojans have to come up with the big play here. Clock moving, 7:15 to go. Burgess brings them out, a 3rd down and 1 play now. Ball just inside the 25 of South Portland. Handoff Ryan True into the secondary, have the first down, breaks the tackle, still on his feet, down inside the 10. Ryan True, the sophomore, keeping this alive for the Golden Trojans.
And some great downfield blocking by Jason Boudreau, Alex Hodder, and Dave Nassy, keeping those alleys open.
The only problem is this is where Thornton keeps getting, right down to that 10-yard area, and they need to get the entire 10 to score. You like to see the 1st and goal from inside the 5, but it's 1st and goal from the 9 this time. Stetson to the far, Doyen to the near, powerhouse backfield. Counterplay Boudreau, and Boudreau fights forward, gets it down to about the 7. Good second effort, but South Portland stayed at home, and a good job there by Rodiger, Hughes, and Kevin Ryan.
Thornton shows offensive flow to the right side, then counters Boudreau back over the center of the hole, but as you said, South Portland stays home, and Boudreau does well just to pick up some positive yardage that time for Thornton Academy.
Thornton really might need to pass on this play because they got to stop the clock. Burgess on the option, and he's not going to have anything. He gets pulled down for a loss of a yard on the play, and that option play down near the goal line, not been that effective for Thornton Academy.
Very difficult to option a goal line defense. As you can see there, they're able to shut things down and contain the outside, running to the short side of the field.
Thornton now has to hurry to get the playoff in time. Taking a lot of time getting that play in. Burgess brings them out. He sends Stetson and Doyen to the far side. Ryan True lines up in slot right formation. Let's see if he'll move in motion. He does. Burgess with time, fires out for True. He's got the catch. Does he have the end zone? He does, baby. Oh, and this one's still a ball game, folks.
They run a similar type play, only splitting to the far side and sending True from right to left in motion. Driving down by the split ends, and True finds the left side of the end zone. And will they go for 2 or 1 right here?
They're lining up for 1. I would like to see him go for 2 early. Brazilovic, the sophomore in. Burgess, a quarterback, is the holder. Remember that. They're going to fake it. Rolling out deep in the end zone. Now Burgess says, I'm going to go for it. No, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. James Story comes up and makes the big hit right at the 1-yard line. Takes Burgess out of bounds, and the Trojans come up empty.
Three Trojans in the middle of the end zone waving their arms for the ball, and Burgess does a wise thing of stringing out that defense. I thought he was going to throw the ball, but then electing to run for the corner. Story right there to knock him out of bounds. Nice defense by South Portland.
Let's go down for a sideline report on the sideline.
Well, Jay, big play right there. True, we saw it coming. We stood over here with the gut bomb crowd. We saw True in motion. We knew it was coming this way. Nice throw by Burgess. Tough play on the extra point, though. Now we need 8 points just to tie it. Trojans can't give up another first down.
5:26 to play in the contest. Our score, South Portland 28, Thornton Academy 20. Brian True has turned out to be one heck of a receiver. Besides the fact he's an excellent runner, as only a sophomore, he can catch the football. He'll kick it off. Booming kick as he just jams it deep. And Harvey goes all the way back to the 9 to receive it. Comes out, he's hammered down. And the Trojans come up with a big play. They get the crowd into it, but now they got to stop South Portland on 3 plays and try to get the ball back. And then, of course, they'll have to score the touchdown and convert the 2-point conversion just to tie it. 5:21 left.
Don't go away just yet.
This has been one heck of a football game. And again, you like the 2-point call. I like Burgess rolling out. He had men in the back of the end zone, but you also got to like the fact that he said, I think I can get it, and he powered to the end zone, but that sideline really became a friend of South Portland in Story. He's able to use that to force Burgess out of bounds. First down and 10, South Portland. Handoff, Lawson. Lawson off the right side. He's not going to have anything. He'll get a yard. And this, one heck of a playoff game. South Portland Red Riots have really come to play. They've turned it up a notch here in the playoffs. The Trojans haven't cantered. They've stayed tough. They've played well, but South Portland just played a little bit better today. And Ben French, 6 receptions on the day, and most of them of the miraculous variety. Story comes to the near side. Split backfield, Lawson and Lessa. Double tight ends, 2nd and 9. Harvey fakes, rolls wide. And there comes Knox and Eddie Harris, 32-82. And they hammer Harvey back for about a 7-yard loss.
This crowd is going crazy on this side of the field right now. Eddie Harris again shoots the gap. Knocks to the outside, no place for Harvey to go.
And Thornton Academy has called a timeout with 4:03 to play. Our score, Red Riots 28, Trojans 20. And now the big 3rd down play. South Portland, though, pinned deep inside their own territory. You would think that would shift Coach Wolfgren's play calling to the conservative side, because you can ill afford a sack, a fumble, an interception here. You got to try to come up with something of the conservative variety, I think, which he was using there with his quarterback Harvey trying to get him outside. But Thornton Academy has really not let Brian Harvey outside containment that often today.
Well, they've done a nice job at containing Harvey. And you also have to realize South Portland's up by 8 points. Even if they don't pick up the first down, Thornton Academy has to march down the field, pick up the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. So the average is really favoring South Portland right now.
Let's go down for another sideline report. Jeff Harper on the sidelines.
Jay, things getting intense down here. Everybody's getting banged up. Chad Eddie Harris playing on full emotion. He's a little shaken up on the play. Looks like the quarterback's taking some hits down here. We have guys running on and off the field. It's intense. The Trojans 3rd and 18. They get the ball here. It's anybody's ball game. still anyone's ball game.
All right, no doubt. Down that sideline's got to be a fun place to be. Right down with the hitting, down in the trenches, digging, dirty, biting, spitting, and kicking. Yeah, loving it. And this, of course, in the...
That's just Jeff.
And in the trenches, this is where the war will be sought out on this big 3rd and 17. The Red Riots have to get it over the 30-yard line. Harvey sends French to the near side. Story and slot right now comes in motion to the near side. The draw play up the middle, the Trojans are there. Lamar, DeRocher, make the stick. And a gain of 3, it'll bring up 4th and 15. And South Portland will be forced into a punting situation. 3:45 and ticking. Did the Trojans go after it?
I think they're going to set up the return.
Mercier and Doyen back. They have to field it cleanly.
He's going to be kicking from his 5.
He stands at the 4, does Ben Blackwood. Low snap, plenty of time. Good high kick. Doyen coming up, not fearing the fair catch, makes the reception and fights forward to about the 39. So the Trojans have great field position, plenty of time, but a 2-point conversion might loom large. This is what high school football is all about, folks.
Gut check.
Oh, I feel the butterfly starting to churn inside my stomach. Never mind the players. Stetson, Doyen, split to each side. Burgess, straight drop. Fakes, got time, going deep. Man out there, Doyen, the football. He's got it. No, the ball comes out, incomplete. And it looked like they could have called face guarding in the last second on James Story.
Story goes back, and from this vantage point, puts his arms up, but doesn't turn back to look for the football. And that's perhaps where that interference call could have come in. Thornton Academy runs a stop and go to Doyen to the outside, and that ball was laid out there very well. Looked like he might have been able to come up with the ball, but it falls short about the 5-yard line.
Officials now have whistled a timeout. Equipment problem with a South Portland player. And yeah, you couldn't ask quarterback Burgess to throw that much better. And Doyen, almost a spectacular catch. And again, he had to thwart off the arms up in the air of Story and try to concentrate the ball into the hands. It looked like he did, but when he came down, somehow the ball came out. You didn't see it come out to the last second. And that ball falls incomplete, stopping the clock. 3:03 to play, but the Trojans need first downs. They don't need the end zone here. They need first downs. Enough time. A big 2nd down 10 play now. Need some positive yards here on 2nd down. Massey to the near side. Doyen to the far. I formation. Burgess will throw again. Gets it off. Massey out there. Harvey's there. Guess what? Harvey's the pick. And back come the Red Riots. Flag comes in. Harvey's going to go the distance, it looks like, but no, Burgess makes the tackle and 2 flags come in. We could have 2 clipping calls on the same play against the Red Riots.
South Portland, Drew Hughes comes to the outside, forcing Burgess to throw the ball before he was ready. It just hangs up in the air, and Harvey camps under it, comes up with the big INT for South Portland.
And the calls will go against the Red Riots, I believe, but I think it's post-possession, so they'll get the football. They'll just be pinned deep in their own territory. And that time, if you're receiver Massey, you have to knock that ball away from Harvey.
You have to become a defensive back in those situations. Can't let the ball be turned over. It was underthrown, and Massey trying to come back to it. But great athletic play by Brian Harvey, no question.
South Portland will start at their own 9-yard line, 2:50 to go. 1 first down, and this could be a done deal.
I believe Thornton Academy has another timeout in the bank.
That situation, Thornton Academy going deep. Harvey brings them out. Handoff up the middle, nothing doing. And the Trojans hold on to make the tackle and see if they'll use their timeouts.
And the Trojans down there definitely going to be tackling ball. That's something the Riots have to be aware of.
Clock moves. Thornton Academy not using the timeouts here. More than likely after this play, they'll burn one. 28-20. South Portland leading as we move under 2 minutes to play. The number 8 seeded Red Riots looking to move on to play the Biddeford Tigers next week at Waterhouse Field. Harvey hands to Lessa. Lessa coming this way, nothing doing again. The Trojans use the timeout.
Right at the 11-yard line.
Minute 46 to go. South Portland clinging to the 8-point lead. Timeout called, and defensive coach John Moran out to talk to his troops. Coach Wolfram comes out to discuss things with the offense of the Red Riots. 3rd down and 8 yards. And again, the Trojans make the stop. There will be enough time for a last-ditch effort to tie this one up and send it to overtime.
Well, when you follow the great game of high school football, as long as we have, you learn not to make any predictions until you look up on the board and see all the zeros showing.
And over the years, Thornton Academy has been one of those teams who can score in a hurry and who has come up with some big comebacks. And none bigger than a few years back, maybe quite a few years back, but I know a lot of the Thornton and South Portland faithful will remember the Trojans coming back from, I believe it was a 21-7 deficit in the playoffs to knock off the Red Riots and move on to a state championship season. I think it was in the semifinals. Thornton came back against Lewiston, pulled off a big win, and came back against the Red Riots. I believe that was in 1986. Both coaches now come off the field. The Red Riots break the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. French and Story go to the far side. You got to watch those two. And they've run the mixed routes. Harvey calling the signals. Handoff up the middle, and the Trojans cover up. Harder makes the tackle.
They burn their last time out now. South Portland with the ball at the 12.
Jake DeRocher also in on the stop for the Trojans. The junior playing a very tough football game here. And the clock will stop, a minute 41 to go. And again, South Portland's Ben Blackwood will have to kick it away from deep inside his own territory. And this, a cat and mouse game, and that time I wonder if South Portland wouldn't have been better advised or to roll Harvey out and just look for that little timing pattern with French, the up and out. They've used it almost like a run play, but again, I'm sure South Portland fearing a big play, step up, you try to throw that ball to the outside, and the corner comes up and picks it, walks into the end zone. So
you got to play the percentages, and in this case, you're definitely playing the percentages in staying conservative, kicking the football, put the pressure on the other team to have to score the points.
That's right, and South Portland's defense has been there. They've answered the bell each and every time here in this one. Biddeford score 46-21. A lot of points at that one as well.
Whew. Never would have expected that type of score.
Dorian and Mercia drop back to their own 40, the South Portland 40. Blackwood stands at the goal line. Good snap, no pressure. Blackwood lines a low one off, and it'll roll, take a good South Portland roll, and it'll be down at the 37. So the Trojans 2 yards forward from their last possession. And again, now the timeouts, they've been burned. Thornton has none. You maybe have to get it down the field a little bit, but you still got enough time with a minute 34 to run about 6 plays.
Plenty of time, using the sidelines to your advantage, and more importantly, getting up on the ball.
Is there a 2-point conversion in our future? Burgess on first down to throw. Goes deep out there for Stetson. Stetson streaking. It's picked off. James Story took it out of Stetson's hands.
I don't know how Story comes up with that.
He's unbelievable.
He's running stride for stride with Stetson. It looked like Stetson was going to be able to come up with the ball. Somehow Story gets the hands up there, comes up with the pick, and then forgets to put the knee down. He's so excited in the end zone, he just has the ball over his head. This one's over.
What a play. This has been one of the most spectacular played football games in the history when you think of athletic, sensational plays we have seen dozens. None bigger than that one right there. Momentarily looking like a touchdown, and next thing you know, Story has it, and he's calling a touchback. And South Portland, the number 8 seed, will move now to the Western A Final to play the Biddeford Tigers. Ooh, wow. Wow, all I can say. For the radio people out there, it's hard to describe that play. Stetson got the arms out, the ball thrown to near perfection, reached out long, had it momentarily in his grasp, but Story on his backside put his arms right out too, and as Stetson fielded it in his hands for a second, Story just pulled it away. It was almost like a tray. And Stetson put the ball on a tray, not intentionally trying to catch it, but he softened the ball, and Story just took it away, made the interception in the end zone, and South Portland.
It was a great throw by Burgess, really right on the money. Story was just big. Bigger at the task.
Unbelievable. What a game here this afternoon. Again, Thornton Academy going deep down the field, looking for it all. Oxford Hills winning 26-7 in the East.
Well, at least I picked one right.
And the Hills will move on to the finals to play, we would guess, Waterville.
Yeah, that'd be a safe bet, I'd say.
Clock will start again after the play. It's down to 50 seconds, and South Portland getting the cheers up as their team has come up big here in the playoffs. Harvey, Story, and French. And let's not forget Tim Lawson either. But boy, have these kids played today. O'Neill also 2 interceptions today. There's almost too many. It'll be delay of game call now against the Red Riots. 26 seconds remain, and Thornton Academy, I still don't think they can believe what has just transpired.
They definitely had their chances, and you know, walking away from this game, the way things have unfolded, they played a whale of a ball game. South Portland just made some unbelievable defensive plays and really playing on both sides of the ball. Excellent.
And unbelievable catches offensively. And that'll do it, folks.
And you hate to see the fine careers of these seniors end, having provided Saco fans with some outstanding football the last 3 years.
What a game. What a game. You just got to be proud that you're involved in high school athletics when you watch this one. This was a game of games, and some true grit and true heart played out in this one. Let's go down for a final report from the sideline.
Jay, you got to hand it to the South Portland Red Riots. They did it with skilled positions today. Quarterback, receivers, and in the secondary, they stepped up. The gut bomb crew has told me that they would like to give the gut bomb to Ryan True and Alex Harder today, offensively and defensively, respectively. Jay, back to you.
Well, amazingly, for our TV viewers, that's what I already had picked in my head, and I'm sure Mr. Paquette would have concurred.
No question on those 2 selections.
Harder, just tremendous on defense there. All over, of course, goes both ways. Ryan True for Thornton Academy, running the ball and catching the ball. Brilliant. The sophomore played his heart out. And again, just a sensational football game played by 2 outstanding football traditional teams. And South Portland has the answer in the second half. They prevail 28-20. And just an amazing football game. And stars almost too numerous to mention, but as Jeff said down the sideline, skill positions is where South Portland came up huge today.
And you knew coming into the game, that's where Thornton Academy was going to have to concentrate their defensive energies on those skilled positions. They did a good job, really, getting Harvey contained on that outside run. But too many weapons this afternoon for South Portland, and they come up with the 28-20 victory.
They were catching balls on both sides of the field of the miraculous variety. And Thornton Academy now walks off and gets a very nice round of applause from their supporters and fans. And they did play a very good football game today. And you know, no one on that team ever gave up. And I think each and every player thought they still had a chance to win this thing. And they're still having a hard time coping with the fact that they didn't come back and tie this up and send it to an overtime. We'll take a break. We'll be back for our radio listeners to to wrap this one up from Hill Stadium, and also back with our gutsy players after this. Welcome back to an empty Hill Stadium. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Our final score, South Portland 28, Thornton Academy 20. And this afternoon, both teams came to play. They played good. They played hard. Spectacular plays on both sides of the ball by both teams. And you really can't be too disappointed with Thornton Academy today because they played themselves a football game, never giving up, and just some spectacular plays by the Red Riots at the end to hold off the Golden Trojans. And what we hoped was that big two-point conversion at the end for an overtime game.
It's really hard to say someone came away losing this game this afternoon, almost as though Thornton Academy just ran out of time. Towards the end of the game, a couple times, had the chances down deep, and that last possession, what a grab by Story. Unbelievable. Just when it looked like Stetson was going to come up with a big reception, he's able to get up over Stetson and come up with a big turnover, which iced the game for South Portland.
And we thought we'd see a much cleaner game, but when you look back now, Thornton Academy again has 5 turnovers versus South Portland. Kind of amazing, but a lot of those interceptions of the spectacular variety, and they just had the plays, and Thornton Academy again countering back after falling behind 2 touchdowns, got it downfield, had 2 chances for the tying score with 2 possessions late, but unable to come up with points. And just a tremendous season for Thornton Academy, though. They did turn it up in the playoffs. They did come to the challenge that Coach Agresti asked his kids to do, was to forget about the regular season. It's playoff time. It looks like they did that, and all in all, it's tough for these seniors because I think they fully expected to be in a state championship game come 2 weeks away, but the season concludes and they move on.
Well, hopefully they can move on, and it's always difficult when you're an athlete, in this case, a football player. The last time you have to take those pads off, it's extremely difficult. We've both been through it, and it's a tough thing, but I'm sure that they're going to bounce back. It's just one of many adversities they're going to face, and the great thing about sports is it really prepares you for some of the more serious things you're going to face down the road, and if they can get through this, they'll have many successes to come, I'm sure.
All right, a great performance for Thornton Academy and all the seniors. We'd like to congratulate them and best of luck in the future. And, of course, with winter sports, going to our gutsy players of the game, already picked by the sideline crew. We were pretty much going that way ourselves. Alex Harder, just tremendous today from his defensive end position, of course, on the other side of the ball as well. But really defensively, he contained Brian Harvey, and he made numerous plays. He had to have at least 10 to 12 tackles on the day.
Yeah, you heard his name often this afternoon, really. That's what Thornton Academy needed, to contain Harvey to the outside. And every time they ran over to Harder's side, he was there to make the big stick. Tough player, plays on both sides of the ball, a team leader, and we congratulate him for not only a fine afternoon, but a fine career here at Thornton Academy. Great job, Alex.
And going to the other side, you know, a lot of times we stick with the seniors, and you go that way, especially in the last game of the year. But Ryan True, I mean, offensively, he was the man today. He really was. Receiving the ball, some fine catches, touchdown runs, long runs. He did it all. Ryan True has got a promising future for Thornton Academy as long as he can stay healthy. This year pretty much did so and had a great sophomore campaign.
He certainly did have an impressive sophomore season, and we would encourage Ryan and the other underclassmen really work hard and strive for success and follow the footsteps that the seniors have. Ryan this afternoon catching the football, running with the football, some great blocking. Yeah, we do expect big things from him, and I think number 20 is going to ring up many a big name for himself before he's done his career at Thornton Academy.
And just another sensational game we witnessed here at Hill Stadium. We've seen him year after year after year, and this one as good as we've seen, and just a tremendous game from both teams. And again, it's hard to have one team walk away without the W and without moving on, but the Trojans unfortunately come up a little short today. They lose to South Portland 28-20. Once again, congratulations to the 94 Trojans and their success and their coaching staff. A good performance done on the football field. For my entire staff here at CTV 30, Dennis Avery, Mark Pickard, Tony Ryan, of course the guys back in the studio, Tony Alamo, Mark Cantra, and Jeff Harper. Special thanks to him for helping out the last couple weeks. And of course a special thanks to you, Mark. It's always a pleasure to work with you. This is a sad time of year for us too, because we don't see each other as much. We enjoy our Saturday afternoons together, and now, of course, you move on into winter sports, and I don't know, those phone calls are a little further apart.
Yeah, you know, it's just not the feeling. When you do the games for the cable company, as I have the last 4 years, you wake up on Saturday morning, you have the butterflies, you have the game face ready, and it really is a kind of a disappointing thing when our season is over, but we thank all the team, especially the seniors, for a lot of exciting football that you've provided us and the great memories that you've given us. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, for the entire staff, I'm Jay Harper, saying so long from Hill Stadium in Saco. Once again, the final score, South Portland 28, Thornton Academy 20. We'll see you again next season, and of course, this winter as well.